Hey dolls, welcome back to your Royal VFF, the People's Duchess. Happy Friday. We've made it. Big stretch. So glad you all are here. Are you guys doing anything fun for the weekend? This is my last weekend here. It's been great. It's been fabulous. A little bit cold, but really great. Going home and thinking about all the stuff that I have to do, the spring cleaning that I'm actually looking forward to. I love a good deep clean. I love a good, just ability to relax. For me, that's cleaning my house. Um, it's definitely not as hustle and bustle as Toronto, but there is a lot more to do in like a country environment, in a country house, than let's say in my flat, in my opinion. Oh, and shout out to Callie Jen. Hope you're doing well in what I'm sure is a luxury flat. Do you guys call them flats? Apartments, flats, and then the other one is townhomes, right? I think an apartment and a condo is the same thing, right? Other than the ownership. I think the apartment is a building that one person owns, like a company owns and then rents out. And then a condo is a place that an individual or a family owns. And then both of those entities, either the company or the family or the person, can rent it out. But I think it's pretty much all the same. Condos, apartments. I think a townhome also. Townhomes are 2 stories, right? So the townhome is a 2-story, and that's the only like major difference. Oh, and I think people own the townhomes too, not companies usually. I have a flat in the States, which I guess you would call a townhome. Technically, it has 2 stories. It's a lot of work, the painting and the maintenance and all that stuff, which is just why I really like apartments. Because usually in an apartment complex, like that's all done for you. You don't have to maintain anything. So when I get home, I'm gonna start going live too on Royal Poppy, and that'll be more of showcasing from my travels. So mostly like my time here in Epetwick, and then working backwards to my travels earlier this year in Sierra Leone. So I'm really excited. And if you guys are interested in that lifestyle and travel type situation, then you're going to love what we have coming up on Royal Poppy. And it's much, in as much as I love doing my Instagram lives, I think I'm also going to focus a little bit more on YouTube this year. Don't get me wrong, Instagram is a great platform, but in this case, it's just, I think I'm just going to focus a little bit more on YouTube. So if you are coming over from my Instagram, or if you watch me like cross on my Instagram and my YouTube, I will begin the process now of returning to like a more simple Instagram format. So I think I'm not going to go on live Instagram this year too much, if I go at all. So if you are a member on Instagram, you can definitely transfer that membership over to YouTube. So just reach out to me, email me, and I will give you the link. Hey, John Jenkins, welcome to the chat. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, and the other thing is just social media platforms in general. I'm really trying to be mindful of. I'm really trying to like be cognizant of like where I spend my time. So one of those things is just supporting companies that align with my values. And one of those values include just not like taking active part in making the world less safe for everyone. What Harry and Meghan have been doing as far as their advocacy for digital safety really isn't only about children. It has the biggest impact, in my opinion, on kids, but it affects adults too. And they often use Meghan's experience on and with social media as a talking point here, because it's a very good talking point to illustrate the negative effects of social media on adults as well. So for that, or with that, I just want to be very mindful of the platforms that I spend my time on. It's one of the biggest reasons why, in as much as it really hurt to not be in the lives that I really enjoyed on TikTok anymore. And I've never had a Facebook, so I, never think about that. But Facebook is also one of these companies being taken to court over the access of content, certain types of content, to all audiences, where it shouldn't. There shouldn't ever be a scenario where a social media platform promotes a certain type of very harmful content and doesn't have any controls over the age of the person or the demographic of the person that they're pushing that content out to. So it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds in court, if the social media companies are held to account and to what degree. But I think it's quite admirable what Harry and Meghan are doing with the Parents Network and with Archwell to combat this, because it's had an effect on me. I know I've personally been like, okay, I need to now go over my social media platforms and see who does and who does not align with those values. I had TikTok in 2024, and then I got rid of it, and then I reinstated it last year, and now I'm pretty much gonna get rid of it again because it was purchased by a company whose values do not align with mine. And it's unfortunate too, because on those lives in TikTok, I used to have a lot of fun and meet people that were amazing in those lives. And these are people who, like the men and women I've met on Instagram as far back as 2018 and have maintained IRL relationships with this entire time, I have met people in that community on TikTok that I know I will know for the rest of my life. However, I just can't participate in that platform anymore because, again, I want to concentrate my time and my effort where I would feel good about it. And I feel good about being on the platform and then sharing the platform as well. So, yeah, actively avoid negativity at all costs in 2026. This year, I'm going to take more control and just give myself a little bit more time off of social media. This year, I'm going to be very mindful of consumption and paring down what I consume, just as a matter of being mindful of what I put my intentions and my constant, what's the word I'm looking for? Consumption. I was fixing to say consummation. That is definitely not the word. Yeah, taking it kind of back to the 90s in 2026. So if you're not a member yet, consider joining the membership. We have a lot of fun and members only, and the content now, the way I'm doing my lives now, these will be members only after the live stream. So that'll be a great option for you members to relive and, kind of play it back on the replay and things like that. Come on in. The water is nice in the members only pool house. Oh, and speaking of public bathhouses, did y'all hear about that Gucci Mane crazy story with him and Pooh Shiesty? And look. This is hilarious. It's not hilarious, but it's like something that just jumps on your radar, and you would never think in a million years you'd hear all of these names together in the sequence that you're hearing it. But I was watching the Attorney General's press conference earlier, and I'm just shocked that this is what it took to get out of a contract. Let me know if you guys have heard this story, because it's insane. Like, I'm sure Pooh Shiesty could have just taken Gucci Mane to court. He didn't have to round up his band of merry men and go and do him like that. And then I read the police report, and I'm really actually genuinely shocked that that was how they were getting down. Like, who would just rob somebody and then post the robbed jewelry within hours on Instagram? Like, how is that intelligent? You rob one of the most famous rappers in the South, and then you go and post the robbery items on your social media. Like, in 2026, why would you do that? To what benefit? This is going to be very interesting to watch unfold. I know it's a bit of a segue, but I'm not a fan either of like either of these rappers, but the events, the surveillance, the video, everything that I saw attached in the criminal complaint was so shocking and terrifying. And this is going to be another story that I cover on Royal Poppy as far as like pop culture, entertainment news. So I am following this very carefully. And if you guys are too, you can see more of this on Royal Poppy. And also the legal part of it is what I love to keep track of. Like case law, legal case law is right up my alley. So this is going to be interesting to watch unfold. Just like I'm also watching the legal case of the Marchioness of Bath, Emma Thine, or Tyne, as you would say. Um, it's really interesting the legalities of this case. Very interesting update here. So I read up on this case with her son, whom her and her husband are fighting to get included into the inheritance for Longleat. And firstly, a point of correction, it is their second son, not their first son, as I had originally thought it was. And y'all, guess what the second son is named? Henry. Where would that have come from? Anyway, so baby Henry came into this world, the pride and joy of his parents. However, because of these very like archaic pre 1970s family trust laws defining the word child or issue, that uses a very inappropriate, in my opinion, and explicit language as far as like the woman has to deliver the child by the womb and all that nonsense to categorize the child that they're saying. Because of those categorizations, the child is not necessarily considered a child or an issue according to this law, which is nonsense because, hello, definitely the child is the child of the two parents, but they're making it a whole thing because of Emma. Royals have used surrogates before. They're not the first, well, they're not royals, but they're not the first like aristocratic or royal or, you know, rich, whatever you want to categorize them. They're not like the first people to do this, and they certainly won't be the last. Famously, Sophie and Edward used a surrogate, and I'm not sure of this, but correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but didn't Zara also use a surrogate? I might be mistaken, so my apologies if that's the case, but what I'm knowing is that they're not the first and they're not going to be the last. So it's especially messed up because, you know, it's not as if she did it for, like she said, vanity reasons or whatever. And even if that's the case, it's really nobody's business. But she has this like condition, I guess, which affects whatever. I'm not really sure, but she stated that in the legal documentation as well. And she has said it, you know, on when they asked her about her son. So she has this like condition, and then they opted for surrogacy. And I don't know why that changes all the definitions. I think it has more to do with the fact that the surrogate themselves was in America. So that complicates things a little bit further because I guess they're expecting it to be a British born person. But yeah, this is, I think, being made a whole thing of because of who Emma is and not for any other particular reason, because they don't have to abide by those rules. They can definitely correct it or amend it or do whatever. It's not as if they amend it, anything will happen. You know, they're pretty much just doing this because they've never really liked her. We covered this in a couple lives ago about his family has just never really liked her. And it's crazy. It's really crazy when you think about it because these people's whole thing was about to be in shambles. Longleat was already on the brink of collapse. It was in debt, it was in disrepair, it was in disuse up until very recently, where Emma and her family's money came in and saved the day. So I'm surprised that this is how she's being repaid. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of hers. She has said some things and her actions have been very sketchy. So I'm not necessarily a fan, but in covering this story and in reading more about it, it's like, oh, okay, this is really crazy. Like, why would you even put yourself into the situation where you came in with your Nigerian daddy's oil money and then help these people and they repay you by slapping you in the face concerning your second son? Like, that's crazy to me. You would think that they'd be like, oh, yeah, if nothing else, you helped us, right? Like, even if you don't like her, you accepted the money, you let her help you, you let her pay these millions and millions of pounds to save your estate from being in administration. So, like, this is how you repay her? You just, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. Like, I don't know. She's not my cup of tea or anything, but that's like crazy. I would be in there going like full scale Medea on those people. Because what? That's just so rude. That's just so rude. Yeah. So, anyways, currently the dispute is at the center of the three Longleat estate family trusts, using that pre 1970s common law definition and creating a deliberate like uncertainty if the surrogate born Henry qualifies as a beneficiary. And so it's at the High Court of Bristol. And a judge did note that it could be unfair and unfortunate if Henry were excluded, though any decision has to consider other heirs, including his older brother, the Viscount Weymouth. So further complications did arise from the United States angle and the surrogate themselves also being an American person. So the inheritance tax question is also raised here. And it's just crazy to me because none of that should matter at all. Um, None of that should matter. You get a DNA test, the child is both of the parents, period. So this is really intrusive. And I'd be like, I don't know, it's weird to have to even put all of this into court papers. You know, as a lady, as a woman, it's weird to have to just like list that you have this medical issue and da 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 da. Like, that's just not, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy, but maybe that's just me. So the trustees sought court approval to advance funds, granting the Marquess power to add Henry and his future issues as beneficiaries, avoiding the exclusion from Longleat's £157 million fortune. I'm trying to understand where £157 million came from. If they were in almost an administration prior to Emma getting there. I know she didn't get there and put that £157 million in there, and now that's what they're fighting for. I just know that cannot be the case. Child, my ears better be deceiving me right now. I think it just seems like the royals and just like the European like aristocracy in general is in shambles right now. When I was growing up, anytime a celebrity or someone that you knew like very well started doing reality television, it was always at a point in their life where they didn't have anything else going on. They weren't in movies anymore. They weren't on television anymore. They weren't featured in anything. So reality television was like just the baseline way that they could make some money with people who still would watch them. But now, I mean, I it feels like everyone is in a reality television for some reason. Like I don't understand why the Marchioness of Bath is in a reality television. It's confusing to me. I'm just really confused. Are these people or are they not? Like what's going on? Even the Royals, actually. Remember when the Royals got into reality television? People forget. People forget that Prince Edward isn't a half in, half out royal because he tried to set up a production company and make movies and television, and it was so bad. It was so bad. He had everyone in there dressed up like medieval clowns. That's the best I can describe it. It was like medieval clown attire, and it was called Royal Knockout. It was so bad. And they were brutal. They were brutal to him. And that's what forced Eddie to fully close down that dream because he got a fair shot and it didn't work. And this is also why I really think a lot of them are so angry that the Sussexes did work because they've tried. They've really tried themselves to do what they could to get the heck away from Dodge. They tried to do the half in, half out, and they were all given the opportunity to. In fact, many royals right now are, in fact, half in, half out. They have jobs, they work, they earn money outside of the royal fold, and they still come to royal events as working royals representing the crown. But with Meghan, for no particular reason, there was so much precedent. There was so much firsts for everything. And unfortunately, the royals' instinct was to deny her everything right off the bat because all of a sudden she was the first person to ever need mental health therapy, I guess. And just based on their upbringing and how they've never seen anyone like Meghan before, just the instinct was to make her life difficult as possible, just automatically say no. Half in, half out was absolutely available, but for whatever reason, not to Meghan. And by extension, not to Harry. And that's why we're at where we're at right now with everything just blowing up in shambles because your first instinct was to deny Meghan no matter what the request was. Basic mental health, basic therapy. Your first instinct was to say no, and you didn't want her to have access to anything. And then you turn around and use the excuse that it would have made you look bad. How would someone getting therapy make you look bad? What does anyone getting therapy have anything to do with you? Like, I'm still scratching my head on that one. But again, the instinct was if she makes a request, say no. Shambles. Everybody is in shambles right now. And unfortunately, they've got other people to now throw under the bus. I don't know to what extent this is going to go, but they're saying that Beatrice and her allegedly handsome husband are kind of navigating a tough patch here, which I don't necessarily comment on people's marriages. It's none of my business. But at the end of the day, I feel the same way about this as I do everything else. Like, I don't like the idea of divorces. I do not like the idea of tearing up children's homes and families. Like, we have to try and consider, in as much as, you know, these people aren't necessarily great people, that there are children, and the best case scenario here is to have people in a home, two people in a home that are happy and taking care of these children together. So that's where I'm always going to be at. Like, I don't really know Beatrice or Eugenie. I don't get into them too much. I'm not really interested, to be completely honest. But again, a lot of this is like family stuff and stuff that I don't really have any interest in looking into. It's just it's for them to handle. But at the end of the day, I just really want them to be able to work it out for the sake of their kids. They have a 1 year old. She had a baby in like 2025. So, you know, you always want like the best case scenario for children. Um, he has a son by Dara Hang, and she was also on that. I don't know what it's called, but that same show with the Marchioness of Bath, the reality show. I don't think she's on there anymore. I think they already bullied her off of it, but he has a baby with this lady, and that's already bad enough because the kid lives part time at St. James Palace and then the other part at Cotswold Farmhouse and then Florida as well. Like the kid just goes back and forth and back and forth, and that's just not like the best, you know? So I really do hope that things work out for their kids' sake, especially, um, just for the sake of like continuity. It's all very like tiring, but I don't know, just for the sake of continuity. I think I think the thing that people are saying right now, as far as like how he's in Florida and um everything, it's probably a predetermined trip already. I don't know. I don't really keep in touch with all this stuff, but it is probably something that they had already planned on doing. He has this company called Banda Property. It's a luxury property development firm and design firm, and they do a lot of business in Florida. They don't have any formal US business registration, but there is a Miami garage boat facility, a Fisher Island club construction overlooking a golf course, and a Palm Beach Design Week panel. This is on the brink or on the tail of he had another project in Australia that didn't do so well, the Masthead Ocean Club. So I guess that project kind of went under and now he's in Florida looking for looking for the next one. I don't know. I mean, I hope they do well. Honestly, I do hope they do well. There's not much known about the guy because apparently when you're a dude and you have a baby and you're marrying a royal, that's not a big deal to anyone. that is that is not a big deal to anyone. And I guess it helps that Dara here is like a well-educated, really attractive Asian woman. But yeah, you don't hear much about him. People aren't really interested in writing about him. And I don't know if it's because he doesn't have skeletons or what, but you just don't hear like a whole lot of information about him. It must really suck though. It must really be difficult for them to be like a part of this family and still have to contend with at any moment just being thrown to the wolves like this. How awful. Anyway, over in sunny California, no one is getting thrown under the bus, and Harry took to the slopes with his son and beautiful wife to showcase some skiing in matching outfits. Gotta love it. Gotta love the matching outfits. They are the cutest part of the whole thing. I just know Megan and Lilibet were also wearing the same outfits. It's like a family of four outfit situation. I love it. Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, recently shared a family skiing moment. This was on Meghan's Instagram, the picture in the middle there. Really lovely, very reminiscent of Harry's 1991 ski trip with his mom, Princess Diana. Um, Really lovely time. Megan captioned it. Let me see, what was the caption? My boys, quick learner, Archie, so proud, heart emoji. Really cute, just a really good time. This is in like Australia, or excuse me, Austria, where I guess Harry had once said that he wanted to become an instructor, and his dad was like, no, shut that down really quick, which, you know, sad face. This is a dream job. I would love to be a ski instructor. No, I wouldn't. That is such a lot. I'd love to be an instructor because it sounds very romantic, but the snow is just not, it's so cold. Like, this looks really nice, and every time I see them skiing, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this would be great. I love to hit the slopes." Like, when he was out there in Lesotho and it was, like, snowing and everyone looked like they were having a really good time. I It makes you want to be out there. It makes you, also romanticize that environment, but snow is so terrible. It is not as pleasant as it looks. In fact, it's demonic. I'll just say it is demonic. Snow is in fact is in fact demonic. Um, sorry, I have not been keeping up with the comments. Oh my god, the marching band of Bath turned me off. That show episode one when she used our Duchess for clickbait, low class. Palaver girl. Yes, I completely agree with you. That was crazy. Definitely crazy. That's why I'm not a fan. She's a very confused aristocrat. I think that the more I read about her, the less impressed I am. Which, what is the saying? I think they say you should never meet your heroes. And not that she's a hero or anything, but I think that the essence of that saying is what we're talking about here. The more I learn about her, the worse it is. Like, uh, I don't know. I don't know why, like, some people are just I don't know. I think she has a lot of skeletons, not even skeletons, but like problems. The more I read about like this case and her personal life, I think she just has like a lot of like personal problems. I mean, good luck to her. But yeah, so Archie turns 7 on May 6th, and they had a party for him last year. It was really cute. And this year, I think this is probably not part of those festivities, but in the run up to his birthday, I think that they do a lot of these types of events. They always have a very full calendar around this time of year, and it does coincide with his birthday. So I think that they like to do this type of stuff anyways. We've all seen Prince Harry um, hitting the waves in California. So he's taken Prince Archie as well. He's taken his kids to do a lot of really fun activities. And I think that probably just because of the weather is really nice for this, but also I think it's also in the run up to his birthday. So it'll be really fun to see what they do for his birthday. I don't know. I think we might get a little glimpse of it this year. We usually get a little post. I think last year she had him facing the sun. It was really cute. This year, we might get a little post. We might get a little post. So that'll be really cute to see. I love to see them out and about doing their thing. When Harry went skiing in that like sitting down skiing vehicle in Canada for the Invictus Games, this was probably one of my favorite pictures. Oh, and when he went, what's that thing called when you're going down head first with the helmet on like the board? Not slalom, it's something else. I can't think of the name of it right. Oh, skeleton. That's what it's called. When he went down the skeleton course, I really enjoyed that too. But yeah, no. Every time they get out and about doing something outside, it's always my favorite time, especially when they take the kids. So I think that we will be seeing more of them just because um, They did allude to that in that statement from Archwell, that they were changing the name to Philanthropies to include their children more. And I do think that we're going to get a little bit more like social media from them as well. Yeah, this video of Harry and Archie gave me joy. It did. It was really joyful. It's just great to see that like they made the right choice. They got away from an environment that was not going to be conducive to them or their children's mental health and safety. And I think that, you know, no matter if you agree or disagree with that choice, it's always it's always a good idea to stick up for yourself. It's always a good idea to do what you think is right, regardless of what anyone else thinks about it. At the end of the day, you can't live your life for anyone else. You have to do what's right for you. And clearly, the choices that they've made is right for them. I mean, look how much fun they're having. Look how much joy they get to share with the rest of us. It indeed gave me a lot of joy. I love seeing them like this. I love seeing them independent, having a good time, not having anyone to answer to. It's tough to have to live like that, which is why I'm just not envious of any of them. Like, I would not trade places with any of them because, not because, you know, they're in deep stuff now, not because of all the scandal that they're in now, but just because imagine having to ask your brother for money. Like, just imagine having to like beg and grovel for just a little bit of change to survive. Like, why would you? I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to do that. I just wouldn't want to do that. And then especially when they're hostile like that, especially when they're hostile towards you and they've always been like dangerous and hostile towards you for your entire life. Like, you can't trust family members like that. They will literally trade you. They will sell you, trade you off. They'll pawn you off to whomever. It's very much like Game of Thrones, where they were like selling Sansa off to the highest bidder all the time. Like, it was terrible. Who would wanna live like that? I don't know. I just don't think that that's a preferable life. I think that if you have the option to live your own life on your own terms, then you should take that, because living under someone else like that, living under someone's thumb or boot like that is a surefire way to really mess up your mental health and also just never become like a fully autonomous, like recognized adult. They also tend to like keep you how they viewed you as a child. So they never really allow you to be like the adult version of yourself in this type of dynamic, in this type of like family dynamic where you have a royal hierarchy, or you have any hierarchy, really. But yeah. So I think I am going to wrap it up. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter live tonight. I know it's Friday. Y'all got things to do, so I'm not going to keep you here for too long. If you enjoyed the live stream, please do hit that like, subscribe, and share. I don't know if you can hype live streams, but if you can, go ahead and hype the live stream and consider joining the channel. We have a lot of fun and members only. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/the People's Duchess. Thank you so much for being here, guys, and wrapping up this week's Royal News with me. I will see you probably on Royal Poppy the next time I go live. So definitely go over and subscribe, and we'll get into more of that Gucci Mane business, as well as some other really interesting cases I've been going over this week. Have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. Palaver Girl, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here, and shout out to all the members. I really, really appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Abby Rosemary, good morning. Just joining from UK. I hear they're wanting the kids back. Girl, yeah, just be replay, rewind the stream. And have a good time on the replay, gang. I really appreciate you stopping by, though, Abby. Good morning as well. Take care of yourselves out there, guys. Be safe and be kind to yourselves. And until next time, bye for now.